Hey, so I wanted to do a follow-up on my lathe video where I have, like, on the last one, all the cameras weren't working. So this is kind of even more insane. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to try to put a point on this brass rod, which is it's screwed into a special collet or chuck that basically, I guess you would buy brass inserts for this, is just threaded into there. So I don't know why I think I should explain every single thing, but basically this chuck is a normal 8mm chuck. It just has a threaded center. And then I presume that Watchcraft or somebody back in the day sold these brass inserts, and then you can turn them down or turn a point to it or flatten it or whatever you want to do. And then you can glue a part to it and, you know, work on tiny parts there. So that's my understanding of what that's about. Just want to make sure everything's kind of in focus here. So let's see. I still haven't done any more reading about use of the lathe, so still a good chance I'll screw something up. But what I want to do is put a point on this. See, one problem is I can't even see. I can't believe that this thing is in the way here. How could they design it so that thing is in the way of where you want to be? So this is just endlessly fascinating to me. Oh, so it's still not a total. I want to get it to a totally sharp point. Now, the reason I'm doing this is a viewer, I'm sorry I don't remember their screen name, but basically they said you should turn, I said I should turn down a perfectly true point. They said I should make this perfectly true, but this won't fit in the lathe. I'd have to put that in a different lathe, and therefore it wouldn't be true to the lathe. But what I can do is make a true point over here, because the last time I was looking at it relative to a the inside hole in a chuck, which is not very accurate. And with this point, I can then look at the tailstock. I can turn this off. I can look at how the tailstock aligns. Oh, I gotta make sure this is tight. Oh, duh. Okay, so the thing is, I gotta move it very close and then just tighten it here. And then you can see, particularly on this top camera, how badly out of alignment that is. Now, the lathe is turning, but this is too far this way. So that's for sure. Now, I'm not sure when you would need this tailstock to be perfectly aligned, but here's an example. This has like a, if you wanted the back of a, oh, wait a second. Yeah. If you wanted, oh, you have to flip the other way around. So this could go the other way. This could hold a pivot on a large, like a clock or something. And you would want that to be aligned because you would want that to be centered over there. So the other thing I want to mention is that I looked at this some more in terms of what we want is we want this piece to rotate this way, right? Now, if I pull this out and I show you this, we want it to rotate, we want it to rotate this way, which means we want this plate to come forward a little bit with this rotation, this plate right here. Now, my assumption is I tried to remove these screws, but there's a danger of breaking them or stripping them, so I didn't go very far with that. But what it looks like you could do is tap here and here. And what that would do is it would push the top of this up against this curve and cause it to move in the way we want it to move, which is we want it to be leaning this thing this way, a tiny hair. So we need this plate to ride up this curve and come this way a little bit. So tap, 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 and it might correct it. So let me flip this around so we have a point of reference to compare after I do that. And I'm going to get my watchmaker's hammer and just tap it. Not a big deal. If you've ever used a hammer, this looks like a hammer, but when you see it in real life, it looks more like a toy. So when you think of like a hammering something, I think that it's better to think it's not exactly hammer. Oh, there's something interesting too. It looks like there's a shim. How can I show that to you? It looks like there might be a shim in here, a little piece of shim material. And that's exactly where we would not want a shim to be. But I'm going to try my tapping. Okay, the easiest place for me to see this is the top camera. It's still too far this way. It doesn't seem to have made a difference, which doesn't surprise me. Tap it a little bit more. I'm just going to try to discern if there's any change at all. Again, I don't see any change. Okay, so I'm going to give up on that. Maybe because if the focus of this video being on that, maybe somebody else will have an opinion about how to do that. Let me bring this a hair closer. Oops. See, when I tighten it, it moves a little bit. And then you can't see it, but the horizontal is pretty much perfect. Or the vertical, rather. No, yeah, vertical. Something about getting old. Forget all your words. Okay, so that's it. It was fun cutting that. That brass cuts so easily. Man, I should just put that stem in there. I got the stem project already planned out with the Patek Philippe stem. Should just do that now. It's only 15 minutes into this video. Because that doesn't involve the tailstock at all. Let's do that. See how things go. So to remove this collet or chuck that's in there, you just loosen this, pull it out. And again, the way this works is it just goes through the center and the chucks screw into it, and then it's, you know, slightly bigger here. So when it hits this point, the threads are pulling the chuck or collet into it. So I need to put a different collet, and this is the one I was explaining. It has a piece, you can just screw a workpiece into it. I'm going to get the 0.9. I verified that collet from the other video, it is a 0.9 millimeter. I'll put it in there with the stem that I'm going to modify. So there's my collet, 8 millimeter. This is my Patek stem. Just want you to see. So that's the shape I'm trying to emulate. I'm going to try to get it out of this other one. Just very similar but bigger. So I think the main thing is I'll try to find one little part to work on right now, and I'll just see if I have the ability, the cutting ability. And then to do it properly, I should probably measure. It's too deep in there, so. This camera needs to turn a little bit like this. And let's try to take a little bit off the tip. I'm going to have to stop this and come back and do it with math. But basically, because I can't put these parallel right now in a way that you could see them. But from the top camera, if you just flip that in your mind, you can see those are pretty similar. The thing that I was picking this stem as being the most similar on, is that the distance between these two pieces here, these two ridges, are very similar in the target stem and the Patek Philippe. And then in the target, the square part is longer, which means I can take some off. And the overall, if you line up the tip with the collar, overall is much longer too. So I can turn each of these things down and then file the square till it's the same as this. And then I can check the diameter with the micrometer and make sure they're the same diameter. And then I might have a working stem for the Patek Philippe that has its... The problem again with this one, if you didn't see the other video, is it has a stem extension on it right now. This is the Patek Philippe stem. This part right here is a stem extension, and because of that, you can't put the crown right in that area, and it needs to be in that area. I could cut this much off of the threaded part of the stem to move that far, but that's only like 0.5 millimeter, and it doesn't help enough, because the crown needs to be screwed in that area, in this area right here. Okay, so what I want to try first is to just remove a little bit of the tip of this. Which grabber was I using? Need to clean these up, but let's see what happens. That's dangerous. I could like stick the grabber in my eye, I swear. Okay, all I want to do right now is see if I have... I need to move this closer. It's not even tight. I need this to be... I think you can do... I think I could do it like this. Let's try that. Paul, one of the subscribers, was saying this guy Dean DK, his channel showed some of this stuff, and I remember seeing that. There's like this thing called diamond down, diamond up. I want to try something else, which is, can I bring this back, even though that's square? Oops. Let me fix this camera. One of the things I'm going to need to do is should go faster. This is 1100 RPMs, by the way. I'm going to go up to 2000, 2100. I'm going to try taking something off the tip of this too. Can't really tell. I think that did something, but what happens if I look at this? I need to be able to put these things side by side. So the square part, I would say it's shorter than it was, and the tip can come down, like almost 2/3 of the tip can come off of it. Let's try again. $2,400 RPMs. Okay, and then this part, This thing's getting in the way again. Can that rotate? Oops. Oh man, that scared the crap out of me. Okay, that's good. I have an extra belt for that. Holy crap. Okay. I wonder if that's too tight or if that belt was already cracking. I think I'm making progress. It needs to be a little bit smaller, and then I'll have to file that down. This needs to be a little bit shorter. So the way these belts work is you use like a hot blade to cut through it, like a hot X-Acto blade, and then it melts the tip, and then you pull the blade out and it adheres together. So I could fix this one. I also saw that there's, you can buy this new from Bergeon really cheap, like $2. And I also have some green stuff from China that's the same thing. So let's stop this for now. I think it's going to be fine. I think this is really going to be an easy fix. Make this $200 stem. That's cool. All right. The reason I say $200 because it's a Patek Philippe stem, so anybody who's selling it marks it up a ridiculous amount. All right, thanks for watching. And the reason I accuse anybody who's selling it of doing that is because I tried to price them on eBay and other used sources. All right, thanks for watching.